With CS2 just having been released, a lot of players are struggling to rank up into Premier mode. The switch to playing in Premier's pick-ban format makes getting out of Silver a whole lot harder than it was in CSGO, since players now have to master all 7 of the maps in order to raise their rank. If you're a solo queuer, then you've probably noticed that it's hard to win consistently without the help of a 5-stack or a couple of teammates. If you want to consistently win solo queue games, it's not enough to just be as good as your teammates. You need to not only perform as one of the 5 players on your team, but also pick up the slack of any underperforming players that you have as well. And since Premier Mode doesn't allow you to only choose 1 or 2 maps to play at a time, you need to learn how to overperform on all 7 of the Premier maps. In this series, we're going to take a look at each of the maps one at a time, and we're going to figure out how you as a solo queuer can make the biggest impact you can on each of them. In episode 1, we're going to take a look at Inferno, which is one of Counter-Strike's oldest maps. Let's take a look at the layout of Inferno. You can think of it almost like a baseball diamond, where T-ramp is home plate, A is first base, and B is third base. But we're actually playing T-ball, so if you run from home plate to third base, the coaches won't have the heart to tell you you're wrong, so you can go to first or third. The reason I'm making this analogy at all is Inferno's really unique layout. On most maps, taking middle opens up shortcuts to either bomb site, but while Inferno has 2 middles, neither of them really act like a normal middle. Instead, middle and alt middle actually just lead to the A bomb site, while the only route to B is through banana. Middle acts like your first baseline, and banana like your third baseline. This leads me to rule number 1 of Inferno. Always make sure that your team controls banana. Since banana opens up directly onto the B bomb site, all it takes from the CTs is just one glance down that corridor to know if B site is in danger or not. A CT side that controls banana only has to worry about being pushed from one bomb site, and a T side that controls banana can flood out onto the B site at any moment. You can almost think of controlling banana as like being up a queen in a chess game. Rule number 2 of Inferno is for T side. That rule is to keep both sites open as options for as long as possible until you're ready to push a site. Rotations for CT on Inferno take about as long as they do for T side, so if you can keep the CTs unaware of which site you're gonna hit for as long as possible, you can delay that rotate and force a retake. This is especially effective because it's incredibly difficult to retake either bomb site on Inferno, especially A. Now that you know the golden rules on playing Inferno, let's hop into a game and check out a couple of strategies and positions you should play. So one of the best ways to help your team on T side get early banana control is to throw this running molly. When thrown correctly, it lands on top of these barrels and covers both the front and back, so you can't be peeked. This allows you to safely take the fight at top banana without the fear of being peeked first. Then you can surprise anyone that's on that corner and not ready for your rush. One of the easiest ways to take banana control early on CT is with this util combo. This molly stops any Ts from rushing up a little bit too fast, and when that's about to fade, you can go ahead and hit it with this smoke grenade. Now there's a couple of reasons why I like to throw this smoke so high up on banana. The first one is because a lot of the Ts I play against have a weird habit of running off of this barrel to get through it, and while they're in the air, before they can even be accurate, you can just mow them down. The other one is because a lot of them like to push all the way up to the edge of the smoke on this wall, where you can easily just mow down their HP with some nades. Most importantly though, this spot on banana just acts as a natural choke point and is incredibly easy to defend with just one smoke and one player. But the most effective way to hold this position is with a teammate. If you have cooperative teammates, have one of them throw this smoke at the start of the round, and when it starts to fade, re-smoke it. That alone buys your team 36 seconds, plus the additional time from the Molotov and the initial rotate at the start of the round. Once you run out of util, it's no longer really safe to hold this position, so it's probably best for you and your teammate to rotate back to site and start holding positions there. Alternatively, if you want to maintain banana control even after the smokes have faded, just have your teammate flash for you and check banana. When holding B side on Inferno, it's best to choose a position that complements your teammate and sets up a crossfire. Once the first player engages, the second player can swing out and surprise the Ts that they're fighting. Some of the most effective crossfires you can set up are New Box and Ruins, New Box and Dark, and my personal favorite, Coffin and First Orange. Now on T side, once you and your team have taken banana and you're ready to push B, it's important to get a smoke down in CT so that players that rotate can't peek onto the bomb site. Now this lineup's a little difficult, but just bear with me. Once you've gotten it once, it's not that bad to replicate. At the top of logs on banana, a line right above this little hole in the ground. Then horizontally, you're going to line up with the left edge of this tower, and vertically with the bottom side of this U-shaped arch. Then you're going to stay crouched, left click, and throw. This bounces off this lip directly up onto the flower pot boost. The reason this smoke is superior to just throwing it in the corridor is because not only is CT now smoked, but so is the flower pot boost, so players can't use this as an angle to avoid the smoke. On CT side, if you find yourself retaking B and CT is smoked, instead of going through church, consider having a teammate crouch here next to flower pot. You can jump up onto the boost from here and get a perfect unexpected angle onto site. In CSGO, players used to bounce mollies off of a weird skybox clip here, but now we have this much prettier piece of scaffolding. So you can use this to bounce a molly directly into first and second oranges. While these guys finish cooking, let's go turn over to the A-bomb site. On A site, jumping out of balcony on T side can be pretty hard to survive, mostly just because of the number of angles that you're exposed from. To make this as safe as possible, it's best to throw the chimney flash. Line up with this post with the fire exit sign on it, crouch and aim at the top left corner of this chimney window. That flash blinds anyone who's looking at balcony, and they won't have time to react to it since it pops just barely after becoming visible. On T side, if a CT likes to take bedroom early in the round and peek alt mid, a good way to peek them is from up here in kitchen. The reason this is effective is because players playing bedroom are typically watching angles like this, or maybe even this, but they're not usually going to be ready for you to peek from this balcony by kitchen. On A site, if my team is really struggling and we need a big play to turn the game around, I like to throw this deep smoke into mid, and then make this risky push into alt mid and surprise any Ts that are rushing apartments. Now, probably only do this once in a match because once they've seen it once they'll be ready for it, and it's also just a really risky play. Another good way to surprise Ts that are pushing mid a little too fast is to run up here to bedrooms where you can get this weird angle onto top mid. That simple smoke at top mid makes the spot even more effective because you can safely cross to bedroom, but also the T side thinks they're pretty safe to push all the way up to top mid, when in reality you have that off angle on them. The last thing I want to cover is the boost on top of dark. In CSGO, you would have had to have a teammate crouch next to the patio so that you could boost up onto it. But now in CS2, it's actually possible to make this by yourself. If you come up here to balcony and strafe jump onto this first ledge, you already have a pretty nice view, but if you can hit that really hard strafe jump all the way over to the top of dark, you can get an even better view without the help of a teammate. And that's about it. I'm planning on doing one of these for all of the premiere maps, so comment which map you want me to do next week. And if you want to stay up to date on some new CS2 strats, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to be trying to upload on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, so if you want to see the rest of the episodes in the series, make sure you 1-dig, Ferrari Pete, wallbang, backstab, pop flash that button, and I'll see you on Monday. Okay, bye, I love you.